So yeah, there's a band of rain on the south side of Denver extending just up, basically right along I-25, and then there's actually a break in the Boulder, well, a break in the Broomfield area. It looks like the west side of Boulder is still getting some rain, but maybe not quite as heavy, but still pretty serious rain just west of Estes Park in the park in Rocky Mountain National Park and then a Cameron Pass area. This is bad, so I think this event is going now, and it could be worse tomorrow morning, unfortunately. What else? Oh yeah, we do have the chill radar. This is the only site that I know that has current data. Some of you may, I think if you have GR analyst, Steve was saying that you can look at the current chill radar a little bit better. But we don't have that down here, unfortunately, so I can't show that. Okay, so now some model stuff. First of all, somebody posted this, that this was the ECMWF 24-hour forecast from last Friday morning, valid basically over the last 24 hours. And you can see that it seems to have nailed it pretty well. Now, one thing that's important in these type of things is to look at the same forecast the next day and the next day and the next day to see how persistent it was. Because if this just goes away in the model, then it gives you very little confidence. But this is pretty incredible in my opinion. Okay, so Russ runs his CSU WRF and sent me these graphics. Now, there's a lot of things on here. Actually, Russ, do you just want to say?
Well, the bottom right is the stage 4 analysis, but it's obviously not, I mean, that's what we would use for observations, but it's obviously not complete yet. There's a big gap over northeast Colorado, and I don't think the numbers are high enough, so that will probably be updated this afternoon. But at least it's a glance at what the analysis might look like. And so then directly above it is the 4-kilometer NAM nest. And then you can compare that to sort of all the other coarser resolution models, which are in all the other panels.
I'll just kind of.
And they all had, I guess the bottom line is they all had a lot more rain than the higher resolution runs for whatever reason. It could be they were doing that for the wrong reason, but like the GFS is in the upper left, and that was a pretty solid forecast.
These are all forecasts ending this morning, correct?
Right.
So
from yesterday's 0Z, the 11th,
right.
So 2 nights ago.
Right. So it's basically a 12 to 36 hour forecast, something like that, 24 hour totals. But it seems like it overall nailed it pretty good as far as, maybe not the magnitudes exactly, but at least the locations. Maybe a little bit too far to the north in some of these, but pretty close. The high res run, so this is a 4-kilometer run, valid. That same initialization from 2 nights ago.
Right.
Again, the 24-hour total this morning. And I don't know, is this south of Denver?
Yeah, it's like southeast. There's a little plus sign that shows Fort Collins.
Yeah, so there's Fort Collins there. And looks like west of Boulder it had in the 2 to 3 inch range. So it's underdoing slightly, but it seems like it did okay with the qualitative location of where the rain was.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, the higher resolution models actually performed worse, but the coarse resolutions might have been not doing it for the right reasons either. So.
Right. Might be interesting to look at more closely at some point. Okay, so what about for the rest of the day and into tomorrow? So I'll use Russ's graphics again from his model and from some of the other runs. So first, this is, I know this is pretty small for everybody to see, but let me back up. So this is the CSU WRF ensemble, where the members are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then this is the ensemble mean. The top left is the GFS, the top middle is the NAM, and the top right is the SREF mean. So just to give you an idea of what's going to happen. So let's see, let me go to, this is roughly now, I think, 12Z. Okay, so this would be closer to now, 15Z. And we can step forward, the plus sign, I know it's really hard to see, that would be Fort Collins right there. And you can see some pretty hefty values being forecast by some of the members. The blues are getting into over 1/2 inch 3 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, in 3 hours. And the persistence of it is definitely there. And the most noteworthy thing to me is this maximum, which is coming in a lot of the runs overnight tonight. So starting from about midnight to tomorrow morning, it shows, it looks to me to be one last big push of heavy rain. It looks like it's going to be once again moving from south to north, which pretty much all of these things have been doing so far. And then it actually dries us out tomorrow some. So it looks like we're going to get some rain today, maybe the heaviest rain tonight between, say, when the sun goes down and when the sun comes back up again tomorrow morning, and then we're going to be done, at least for the time being. I have not looked past tomorrow afternoon. Has anybody looked like the end of the weekend? I have no idea.
A little smaller chances, like the weekend and then next week looks high and dry.
Okay.
It seems like that we dry out for a little bit on Saturday, we'll get another shot. If at least what I remember is there's a higher
Yeah, I
chance.
didn't look that closely.
Yeah.
I guess
Next week is totally dry.
We had another, I think there's another push of Canadian air down that's gonna set up a similar.
Yeah, can you bring up the herd?
No, this weekend.
Yes, just a second, I'll do that, Chris. I forgot to show, this is the SREF from this morning 9Z run. This is Fort Collins Loveland Airport is the location. And you can see there's actually a very large different groupings here where some of the models are up around 2.5 inches by tomorrow afternoon, and some are giving us like a couple tenths of an inch. So this doesn't really give us a whole lot of confidence. What is the website for the herd, Chris?
rec.noaa.gov/herd.
Okay, I haven't used this, so
First link on the right on the current forecast. Sorry, left.
here,
Yep.
okay.
And then it's like down pretty far. It's
Oh,
the
Change the
accumulated.
domain
Yeah.
first.
Oh,
But yeah, running Colorado.
and then which field do you want?
Accumulated. It's somewhere in there in the middle. It's right. It's 2 up from the bottom. Yeah,
There it is. Total snow. Just kidding.
We wish.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then loop there is the second check.
Okay.
Here last night it seemed to have a location pretty well.
So which run? This is the run from recently.
Should be the latest run.
14.
14. See now. Okay. So Fort Collins is going to be up in this area. Looks like it has the max to our west, which is to be
Also, that
expected.
shows that overnight.
So what are those, like yellow?
The yellow values are 0.5 and greater. Orange, the first shade of orange, if you call it that, orange is greater than 1. Second shade of orange is greater than 2. And then the first shade of red is greater than 3. I guess it's inches. Yeah, there we go.
So it's showing that it's max
So it's-
overnight again too. around
Yeah.
midnight.
Yeah, it sure does. You can see it picking up early tomorrow
I
morning.
wonder if that pattern last night, you know, in the clouds, it looked like some kind of a cyclone. I wonder if that was just a shortwave that was coming up in the larger scale pattern.
Maybe there could have been some sort of convective feedback.
And I'm wondering if
To-
that's not, since all the models are sort of indicating a similar thing is going to happen overnight tonight in our area.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's not over yet, I guess. Does anybody? Somebody asked for something and I forgot. Was there a thought? Any other requests for anything to see?
You know, when a lot of these floods occur after dark, and you have to wonder if it's an accident that we're getting this maximum rainfall at night.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And last night and then possibly tonight as well.
Well, that's been the pattern for the last couple of years, right? It doesn't rain as much during the day, but then a little more at night.
Yeah, yeah. Here again is the most recent radar. Currently for Collins, we're actually sort of in between these two little bands of rain. Yeah, oh, the one thing I did not show is the surface map. I'll do that really quick. Not a surface map that I expect to see in September. Easterly flow, the dew points are Greeley's 57, at Fort Morgan's 59, 61 in Akron. I mean, this is a typical late July type of surface pattern, not mid-September. Pretty unusual.
While you're there, can you get the Bible profiler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus.
So pretty strong, relatively strong easterly flow up to 4 kilometers southeasterly, southerly.
But the upslope was stronger than last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was up to about
Yeah.
5 kilometers last night.
Yeah.
It is some kind of
It's a jet.
Yeah.
Stability.
decut.
Yeah. Anything else?
Can you show like a forecast of 500 millibar heights or something like that, or
Yes.
surface pattern or something?
I was actually, that's the thing I meant to show was the forecast for the weekend. I don't know if we're gonna get wet on Saturday for the big Cal Poly game.
Hey, Ag Day is that day, isn't it?
I don't know, is it?
I think it is, I think it's the first weekend, home game. I didn't get tickets this year.
Okay, so this is 500 heights and what? Relative humidity.
Is
So
it the winds of 500?
the winds are at 500, yes. So this is now, basically, and I'll step forward with 3-hour increments. It looks like that upper low finally moves to the east by tomorrow, and that's, I think, what's really gonna cut us off is we're gonna get more southwesterly winds and probably some drier air working in at low levels. Here is, this is Sunday at 12Z. I'll look at the surface in a minute. We'll just keep going and see what happens. Another big upper low coming into the northwest middle of next week. Not really digging too far south, unfortunately. I never put opinions in forecasts. All right. Here's the surface. MSLP, I think 3-hour precip and thickness. You can see the model. Here's the overnight stuff. This is the GFS, by the way. I don't know if I said that. And it actually shows a little bit of rain tomorrow afternoon and then really drying out. So Saturday is about this time. So the GFS actually keeps us mostly dry. It looks like there might be a little bit of precip in the forecast, but nothing like we're getting today. Going forward, yeah, drying out, like somebody said. And cold front sometime next week, but it looks like it's going to be a dry front. Keep us probably more seasonable than we have been previous to this rain. Anything else? All right, everybody stay dry. Get the sandbags ready.